welcome. I think we're done with our promotional videos there. I would like to say that that was branded entertainment, but I think that was a straightaway ad. Thanks to our sponsors as well as to MIPCube for continuing to promote branded entertainment. A lot of discussion. I actually just came 2 days ago from Clio judging. Clios have now added branded entertainment as a new category. And I have to say that there's just a tremendous amount of work being submitted from around the world and a acceleration of branded content. From 2001, with the start of BMW films, to 2013, I really think that not only have the advertising community embraced the creation of original content on behalf of brands, but the entertainment industry has really started to collaborate. And for those of you that were in the masterclass earlier today, from what I heard from some of the tables and the discussion at our table, it was very much about a collaboration. And how does the ecosystem come together from producer to ad agency, to media agency, to distributor, to consumer, and really help drive the content that consumers are seeking, and by layering in technology, the engagements that consumers are really desiring with their entertainment experience. And I think that that's what you're going to see today here in terms of the best of brands and content is how brands are engaging consumers in a dialogue. I'm actually honored to be taking the stage with my colleague Panos Sambrakos from Ogilvy Athens. Ogilvy Athens, Panos and his team have done something that very few brands, if I could say any, have done successfully, and that's open a full-length feature film, which you'll hear about in a little bit, not only to a profit, but beating out some of the biggest Oscar nominees in Hollywood. And you'll hear a case from Panos in terms of how Athens was able to build upon year over year a successful campaign that they had done for Lacta and really bring it to the big screen. And I think it's that kind of commitment and evolution of content that needs to happen to really drive this industry forward. For those of you that have seen the evolution of branded content, I would say stay with it. And for those of you that are just getting into it, it's not going away. It's the economics that are really driving what we're seeing out there right now. What you'll see here are three great examples, plus that of Lacta's example of the types of content that are being created. We really look at things in terms of four types of programs, and then we'll dive right into the three cases that I'm going to share with you. This is a snapshot of the way that we theme or evaluate programs coming from a white paper we put out last year called Making Magic Using Logic. You can find that on SlideShare. But really what it was a way to assess the application of branded content to your business and a way to measure or value that content. We look at content from a digital-led perspective, so content that lives digitally but may extend in other areas or through other channels. Event-led, and I think event-led is very interesting based on the value of sponsorships and partnerships that brands put forth, several $1 billion a year across Olympics and football and live events. Property-led, that of something that is innate to the brand, that is a franchise or property, an example of which could be Transformers, for instance, from Hasbro, which has been a $1 billion plus property for them. And then broadcast-led, and I would probably, if I had a marker, I would swipe out the word broadcast here as relates to Panos and put feature film-led. And again, like I said, it's a very rare occasion and one that we should all aspire to, and hopefully Panos will be able to share with us their formula in terms of getting that onto the big screen. The first project that I'm going to lead with here is that of a digital-led property. It's a program from our Ogilvy Paris office. And I swear to you, this is not a self-promotion for Ogilvy programming between this case and what Panos sees, but we have been very committed to branded entertainment as an agency progressively and are starting to see the fruit of our commitments come out of these programs. Coke Zero, a step from zero, really driven by an insight into Coke Zero. It was all about making it possible, and that's what Coke embraced in terms of the program. It was a search for a new dance. Really the cultural truth there was that dance back in 2012, 2011 when it was being developed was a key insight in terms of a cultural trend, and Coke was tapping into that, to the audience that they were targeting. The winning dance was that of this dance toe tappy, which you'll see in the case. Over 51 million people have been reached, and it's ongoing. It extended across multiple channels, which you'll see in the case. And Coke Zero is now moving Make It Possible into another genre, which hopefully you'll be seeing some of that content later this year. So with that, I give you Coke Zero.
I am killing it.
Dance has progressed. It is insane what dance is right now.
I am killing it. I'm a predator rapture. I am killing it.
We want to create the ultimate dance that everybody wants to do, that everybody does. I know it sounds crazy, but we really believe that one person can make a huge difference in the world.
We're gonna learn the Captain Creed.
Dance move called the hammer roll.
Funky walking.
Rush to death. The hip check.
Life and shooting star.
I'm Joey, aka Knucklehead.
When I met Joey, he was homeless. So he had to sleep in his car, sleeping in booths at a diner. And Joey was a good kid, he just needed direction.
I made up a dance called the toe tapping. You gotta check it out. It's super tight. I think it's because it's like a victory dance. When something good happens in your life, you hit the toe tappy. When you win a battle, toe tappy. When you hit the lottery, toe tappy. It's a way to celebrate no matter what's going on. Good or bad, it just keeps you going. Keep you smiling through it all.
Definitely impressed.
And suddenly, our little dance started catching on. It just got bigger and bigger.
And this one is pretty spectacular.
I think you'll be amazed, that's for sure, buddy.
That is so captivating!
You guys are giving inspiration to young kids all over the world.
Germany, toe tappy.
Toe tappy.
It's going global. There's no stopping it.
Yeah, I'm all in it, I'm all day with it. We step to the plate and then we swing for the fences. We keep pushing to the end from the entrance. I'm all in, we does this, we did this. They mention me when they discussing what's next, cousin. It's only just a taste, so you should go check the rest of it. We've been struggling, dues and been.
I mean, you have inspired dancers everywhere to pursue their dreams.
Over where you work your whole life for one shot, then it's gone, then in. So when they wonder where the passion is, I'm all in. You ain't even gotta ask me this.
You don't know, then you should know. You don't know, then you should know. If you don't know, then you should know. You should know. You should know. If you don't know, then you should know. You don't know, then you should know.
I always thought it could be big, but I never imagined it could be this big.
It's not a game we play. Hustle hard every day. I'm all in.
So I think if you break this case down and the next two cases that I'll share with you, you know, from a formulaic standpoint, what you have there is this key insight based on an audience out of dance that really was able to be married with a positioning of Make It Possible, and that emerged from a digital platform standpoint in terms of a call to action, right? People submitted based on user-generated submissions, if you want to call them that, their dance move. Everybody wants to be involved in a movement, which gave rise to then the toe tappy, big amount of social consumer involvement in that, giving you a high degree of earned media. And then that got re-embraced by the brand in terms of the campaign that you saw with Out of Home, music video, a worldwide tour, some PR around that. And all of those things combined really then create a cultural touch point, create a meme, the kind of things that brands are after and the kinds of things that those of you that are producers or distributors are really looking for. Because the more that we can create and help shape pop culture like this did, the greater involvement and engagement and, for that matter, franchisability that we have in these properties. The next property here is event-led. It's a program developed by Renault. Renault's been really at the forefront of branded content over the years, whether it be their TV channel or a fair amount of programming that they've done. I think that this program is very interesting for a whole host of reasons, one of which is that of David Guetta. David, again, in a cultural phenomenon with EDM and what's out there. They were really able to capture that imagination of that audience. And even more importantly, as you'll see in this case, what they did is they were able to engage the audience in an activity that gave rise to content in a very unique way. So with that, here is Plug into Positive Energy.
To launch the next generation of electric cars, we chose to give the next generation of drivers what they like the most. Music. But not any kind of music. Electronic music, of course. We offered the most famous DJ, David Guetta, to shoot his next music video from an exclusive track. But we wanted the new Renault Twizy and David to be the heroes of this video, not just another product placement. This time, the energy that fills up the car would come not from an electric company, but be the energy from the crowd dancing to David's music. We imagined and built a special dance floor that would allow people dancing on it to actually charge the car. By hitting the floor during an exclusive performance, they would power his Renault Twizy. The event became our video. And was shared on social networks and video sharing platforms by David himself. It even became Renault's TVC for the launch and was aired in special 2:30 formats, taking over the full ad break in primetime music shows. To keep the party spirit, the launch was accompanied by a VIP event at L'Atelier Renault on Champs-Élysées in Paris. More than 1,000 private guests came to the party with Renault, Kathy, and David Guetta. To take the experience further, online users could enjoy a unique digital 3D sound experiment. They could control the Twizy around a track where, thanks to Facebook Connect, the graphics could be generated on the go and personalized with the names of their friends. To allow users to share the campaign, we offered them their own personalized version of the music video, which would allow them to announce their own party with David and send it to their friends. It was an instant hit, with more than 3 million views on YouTube in its first week. At the same time, the making-of was seen by more than 1.5 million people. 700 blog posts. 4,300 tweets mentioned the campaign, generating 14.9 million impressions on Twitter. A massive crowd has now joined the dancing. So just like them and David, plug into the positive energy.
Again, multifaceted. Note to self, I don't think EDM makes great case study music, but aside from that, I think what they really exhibited there was how to take an event leverage that into content in a very unique way, reach influencers through that event, turn that into TVCs and other print and outdoor, and really drive the social and PR value in terms of earned media. The last case here that I'll share with you is that of Property Led. It's a property that was created by Intel and Vice in partnership, that of the Creators Project. It was just honored earlier today as the Brand of the Year by MIPCube, which is well-deserved, joining that of Heineken and American Express. Intel is and Vice is a very unique innovator in the space. The Creators Project has really become a platform for artists to create and was built out of a key insight that Vice had worked on very closely with Intel to establish the property. And I think this is a good example, unlike what I discussed earlier with Transformers, of a naturally born property that has now become a franchise for both of these brands.
The Creators Project is an ongoing global celebration of art and technology. Founded by a revolutionary partnership between Intel and Vice, the Creators Project supports visionary artists across disciplines who are using technology in innovative ways to push the bounds of creative expression. Our goal from the start has been to increase Intel's brand relevance among young people. Now in its 4th year, this revolutionary platform includes an online community of millions, an online media channel that distributes original documentaries and artworks, and an initiative that supports the production of new works.
This album was a journey. I'm doing things nowadays that I could have never done 10 years ago.
We kicked off the year with a 2-day festival in San Francisco to continue our global event series. We then made our way to Paris, Sao Paulo, Beijing, and Seoul, where we set a new record of 720,000 attendees. Major new initiatives this year include the launch of a new digital art series featuring new music videos, web-based interactive films and art projects, a groundbreaking Facebook 3D printing initiative, and deep-reaching collaborations between Intel Labs and numerous high-profile artists in the program.
I can do anything I want, and I have no boundaries of where I want to take my sound.
2012 also saw the launch of the Creators Project original YouTube channel, which is growing to be the premier home for discovering emerging artists, seeing original works, and exploring different sides of favorites.
I think the technology was super instrumental in my understanding of art.
The project now has a total of 230 million video views. We have also built a stronger, more committed audience, with 1.7 million people visiting the site 9 times or more in the past year. Through the Creators Project, Intel and Vice are creating true cultural moments and redefining the way the youth of the world interact with art and technology.
A beautiful piece of work there, as you heard at the end, really about creative moments, and I think that's what defines the Creators Project. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Panos to talk to you again about something that I think is the high watermark for a brand, that of creating a feature film that not only expresses the brand's essence, but actually grosses at the box office and leads a country in its plight towards love and happiness. So, Panos, over to you.
Thank you. So, hello, I'm Panos, and I'm going to tell you a love story coming from Greece. If we can get the slide. Right. So, on Valentine's Day 2013, these were the movies playing in Greece. And these were the movies opening: Oscar-winning Les Miserables, the 5th sequel to the Die Hard franchise, and a little film by a Greek chocolate brand called Love in the End. On that night, that film had the biggest opening for any Greek film in the last 5 years. And by the end of the weekend, it had done nearly half of all the tickets sold in Greek cinemas. So, how did this happen? Let me tell you this story and find together how you can make a branded film that audiences would pay to see, and how you can compete with Hollywood at the box office. So the first thing you need to do is you need to find the kind of movie your brand's target audience wants to see. In any entertainment project, and especially in one you're asking a ticket to, you have to care about what your audience wants to see and then about what your brand wants to tell them about it. So in our case, our audience was young Greek girls, and we knew they would like to see a love story. And we knew because all Lacta TV advertising of the past decade has been love stories. The key insight being that when you are missing love, you reach for Lacta chocolate to fulfill the emotional gap. So after doing a couple of online short films in the last 4 years that had been very successful, we thought together with our client that we would take it to the next level. And we thought, what if in these troubled times we could inspire people not to settle for unfulfilled love, but to chase after their dreams and find the happy ending they wanted. So this is another thing you should be doing, is you should integrate your brand's message into the movie theme, and that way it is conveyed far more efficiently. So we asked people to send us their stories of unfulfilled love, and with a promise to give those stories a happy end on the cinema screen. So we collected 2,000 of those. And this is another thing you need to do. You have a unique connection with your potential audience, your loyal customers. You already have a connection with them. So if you invite them to participate in the co-creation of the film you are about to make, then you have a head start. So we announced Love in the End to be shot around Greece, the islands, and on a cruise to Istanbul. And we promised that on Valentine's Day, 3 real stories of unfulfilled love will find the happy end they never had. So now you have a concept that people want to see, and some have invested time into co-producing with you. How do you compete with Hollywood? You know, Hollywood has big stars, it has sequels, it has franchises, things that the people are very familiar with. But you, as a brand, already probably have a presence on social media that you can take advantage of. Also, another trend is that people are now used to watching online movies. I mean, they watch them on demand, or maybe sometimes, in my country at least, they illegally download them. So we took advantage of this trend by releasing this 20-minute preview of our film, a teaser video telling one of the 3 stories up to a middle point where there was a cliffhanger. So in essence, getting them hooked with our story and familiarizing them with our characters and themes. And in fact, we got 17% of the Greek internet population to watch this film and share it online, creating great buzz. Now, the other thing you have going for you as a brand owner is that you have all this presence with your brand. You have a campaign probably to promote your products. So in our case, we made sure that every TV commercial for the Lacta chocolate worked also as a movie trailer for our movie. So in that way, while most Hollywood films have 1 month of promotion before they get released, we had a 4-month movie campaign going on. And because of that, we made, even the title song became a hit in Greece. It went up to #2 in the Greek iTunes store and stayed at the #1 spot of the Greek airplay for 7 weeks. And we used every available medium, even the chocolate packaging was promoting the movie. And we did all that in the middle of the biggest economic crisis in Europe, as you know, in a way giving hope to a new generation of Greeks that things can have a happy end.
Lacta, Greece's favorite chocolate, is particularly popular with the nation's lovesick teens. When they can't find love, they reach for Lacta to fill the emotional gap. But since 2012, the entire nation's search for happiness has been put on hold. With 27% unemployment and the country on the brink of collapse, there hasn't been much joy to go around. So what if, instead of just soothing their love ache with its sweet taste, Lacta could inspire them to chase after their dreams? Lacta asked people to submit their stories of unfulfilled love via Facebook. 3 of these dramas would form the basis for a feature film. However, this film would have one big difference. Lacta would make sure that this time the protagonists would find the happy ending they yearn for. The film, titled Love in the End, would be shot around Greece and released on Valentine's Day. A girl, on a cruise with her family, falls in love with the ship's lieutenant and has to make a dramatic decision when they reach Istanbul in the end. A boy, secretly in love with his best friend, finally manages to express his feelings through a fake Facebook profile until she finds out the truth. And two strangers on a trip spend the night together, falling in love, but when they part ways, the girl's mobile phone is stolen, along with the boy's number. To build anticipation, a 20-minute preview was released on YouTube, teasing the latter storyline and leaving viewers on a cliffhanger they could only resolve by watching the film. The transmedia campaign continued with an alternate reality game where viewers could help the film's heroine find her lost love interest through a series of clues on the web. Winners had the opportunity to attend the film's premiere. 17% of the Greek internet population took part in the hunt for the happy ending, and Lacta's Facebook page became the most liked in Greece. At the same time, Lacta chocolate sales grew by 9.9% in a declining market. The movie opened spectacularly on Valentine's Day to the biggest opening night of any Greek film in the last 5 years, claiming 75% of all the movie tickets sold for the night. By the end of the weekend, Lacta's branded film had beaten all Hollywood movies being released and had the third biggest opening of the decade for any Greek film. At the end of the film, audiences were moved by the story's heartfelt resolutions, helping Lacta go from being a chocolate associated with lost love to the brand that let Greece's youth believe once again in living happily ever after.
So, thank you. Thank you. So, this film currently sits on the number 3 spot of the Greek box office chart of the year 2013, with over $1 million euros and dollars in gross revenue, which might be small in other countries, but for Greece it gets you up to number 3. But you know, who would have thought that a few years ago that we would be making a 90-minute ad for a chocolate and people would pay $1 million to see it? Who would have thought? So, maybe him. I want you to think about that and find the kind of movie your brand's target audience wants to see, and you go make that movie. And then you use all your brand's assets to advertise it and make it a must-see film. And I would definitely queue up to see that movie. Thank you.
We have time for 1 or 2 questions. We have some microphones if you have any questions. Right there in the, let's start with the gentleman right there at the end of the aisle, and we'll move our way into the middle.
Yeah, I'm coming from India, Doug. Anil Vanvari. We were judging branded content at the Abbeys this year, and we were in a bit of a dilemma. What exactly defines branded content? So can you give me a little more insight in that? Because is it only the audiovisual part, or is it the activity which goes on behind it, which is not really filmed and shown? What exactly is branded content?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I mean, it's having judged the Lions last year, now the Clios, and a lot of questions around what is branded content. I can start by saying that branded content is not product placement. So just by placing one's product into the visual shot of someone else's content or story does not say that it is branded content. I would say that branded content is a piece of an original story that is informed by the brand's brief or its positioning. As you saw there, related to Lacta, it's content that can come in the form of digital, short form or long form. From a best of breed branded content, it extends well beyond the story into the marketing activation or the activities, again, as you saw from several of these cases. And I would say it's bespoke in nature, right? So, I would not say that branded content is something that we go in and we buy off the rack. It's something, again, that really is informed and developed on behalf of the brand based on its messaging, its positioning, and the audience that it's trying to reach. Evolving that into whether the brand exists in entertainment or, like Lacta, it's a consumer packaged good that is using entertainment as its medium to carry its message. It's becoming a very big debate. There were several projects that we saw at the Clios and in Cannes last year where the brand kind of is into entertainment already, but they're doing some really innovative work in storytelling and content, thus creating branded content. Probably one of the best examples of branded content out there right now, and they're present here, is that of Red Bull and a Red Bull Media House, and I think that they've done a phenomenal job dimensionalizing that brand through content. But I would say that anything that you're buying, off the shelf or from someone else that you're borrowing equity is not truly branded content as much as it is sponsorship or just placement.
Does the live component, if it's a part of the entire campaign, also become, and it's not filmed and shot and used in the...
It can be. If you look at any of these categories, there's a live event category or experiential, there's integrated campaign, there's digital, there's broadcast. So, as you saw in terms of the way that we're categorizing things, it can come in multiple forms.
Thank you.
Time for one more question?
No.
Congratulations on the Lacta campaign. Thank you. Now, did you plan the campaign all the way through at the beginning, or did it develop organically? And secondly, did your client also pay for making the feature?
We planned it ahead, the whole thing. It was from the beginning the way it should play. And our client paid us to produce and oversee the production of the film, and co-produced it actually with a movie studio in Greece, putting half the budget themselves, half the studio. Okay.
So with that, I thank you all for attending this session, and Panos and I will be outside afterwards if you have additional questions, and enjoy the rest of your MIP TV. Thank you.
Thank you.